Hey guys, Dave here. A couple things to go over, and I thought it'd be easier to do a video blog than to try to type it all out and get it up on the internet. So I figured it'd be easy just to talk to you guys on a video. A couple things I want to talk about. I want to talk about Tuesday nights, and I want to talk about game time requests. Okay. First off, Tuesday nights. Good news. No more 10 p.m. games starting next season. So going into our spring and summer season of 2018, we're going to start everything a half hour earlier. So we're going to go 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, and 9:30. A lot of people made it known that 10 p.m. was a problem for them. And not only even a problem for them, but when people would text me or email me or call me and say, hey, do you need a guy tonight? And I'd say, yeah, 10 o'clock. I'm missing so many guys. And they're like, yeah, no thanks. I'll be in bed. And I'm not singling anybody out. That was the general consensus. When people that weren't playing regularly on Tuesday asked to sub in on Tuesday, I was like, yeah, 10 o'clock always. And it was really hard to find people at 10. And even referees. If a referee bailed out, it was almost impossible for me to find a referee to ref at 10 o'clock if somebody bailed. So, and you can hear my dog barking. He's in agreement on this. But anyway, getting back to that. So, yeah, so we're going to start a half hour early beginning May 14th, I think it is, of 2018. Let me see. We will rotate that early game, like we did with the 10 o'clock games, how I tried to rotate so nobody either played 3 or 4 late games, depending on how the schedule worked out. I'm going to try to do that with the early games as well. So the 6:30 game, we're going to rotate that. I am not opposed to doing what we do on Saturday. Now, if you're not familiar, what we do on Saturday is we started at 7 a.m., so we put together a team of guys that were okay with playing all the early games, or at least most of the early games. So we drafted a team from a pool of guys. They all play at 7 pretty much every week, so it's a win-win. So they're happy. They get a nice early game on Saturday like they wanted to. And some guys that don't want to play early, well, they don't have to play as many early games because of this team stepping up into that slot. So I'm not opposed to doing that on Tuesday nights if we can find a draft quality team or a team that'll fit well with the other teams that want to play majority 6:30 games. That's on the table as well. We got a month to get this all together because, again, I think it's May 14th. That Tuesday night will be the first night that we have the early games. So talk to me personally. It's the best way to do it. Say, hey, look, I'll be on that team, and if we can get enough guys to do that, absolutely we'll do that. If not, then we'll just rotate it in like we normally do. Now, ironically, in May of this year, 2018, we will be starting year 20 of the EMRHL. 1999, in May of 1999, we dropped the ball for our first season. So when we get to May next month, we will have finished 19 years of EMRHL roller hockey. So we start year 20. Now, the 15th, we had a really good time on the 15th reunion. I'd like to see if we can top that somehow. I'm open to suggestions what you guys want to do for the Big 2-0 for the league, but that is coming up in May, so at some point this summer we should try to get something together. Again, throw me suggestions, talk to me at the rink, whatever you'd like to do, but yeah, it's actually year 20, if you can believe it, of of the MRHL. Getting on to game time requests. A lot of guys have game time requests, mostly on Saturday, but sometimes on Tuesday. One thing I always do is say, get it to me in writing. So much happens at the rink between on the court and off the court, and guys forgetting their sticks, forgetting their helmets. I need subs. So when you walk by me and you say, hey, Dave, can I get a late game next week? Or in 2 weeks, I need an early game. Chances are, by the time I finish the day and I come home and I get on the computer, I go do the schedule, I've forgotten all about our 3 or 4 second conversation. It's just so much happens at the rink. So a lot of times, if you ask me that, I think you'll notice I'll say, send me something. Text me, Facebook me, email me. So when I sit down to do the schedule, that will remind me to try to get your request in. Also, if we honor your request, you got to show up. When we do the schedule and we work around somebody, that means someone else might not get their game time they wanted, or maybe someone else has got to play an extra late game or an extra early game. So if you ask for a time and we give it to you and you don't show up for that time, and I know things happen, but the next time you ask, yeah, we might go with someone else instead of your request. So it's important that you get it to me in writing, you get it to me as early as you can, and you also you show up for that game. And you got to give me more than one time slot if you can. Some people say, hey, I can only play at 9, or I can only play at 7, or I can only play at noon, or whatever. That makes it real tough because that means I got to slot you guys into that one time slot, and that affects everything else when I try to make the schedule. So if you can give me 2 hours or 3 hours to work with, the bigger the window you get, the better the chance that I'm going to get your time. But when you give me just one time, if I got to upset 9 or 10 other people to get you that one time, I'm going to go with the 9 or 10 other guys rather than the one every time. So try to give me notice, as much time in writing, show up with a game, and give me the biggest windows you can. The more flexible you are, the better chances you are at getting that game time request. And I also try to rotate the requests. There's some people who request games all the time, and some people hardly at all. So if I'm accommodating, person A over and over and over, I'll do that if I can. But if person B says, hey, I got something going on, at work or whatever, can I get this? If this guy hasn't asked me ever or in a long time, then yeah, I'll honor that request. And sorry, I've done a lot for you, but this guy's asked me. So I do try to rotate all the game requests the best I can, as rotate the times. It's not perfect, but I try to take all the game time requests. I try to rotate the refs, and I try to keep everything going. It's not easy, but I do try my hardest for that. So again, work with me, and I'll work with you. And if I can get you your time, I will. So anyway, that wraps up this here. I want to talk about the Tuesday time, 6:30 start, 9:30 last game in the summertime. So we're all out of there earlier. That'll start May 14th for the Tuesday season. The 20th anniversary coming up this year. What can we do? And finally, the game time request I just talked about. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll see everybody at the rink.